Welcome back to ESBR Boxing's YouTube channel. Delighted to be joined by Andrew Moloney, who fights Junto Nakatani on May 20th in Las Vegas for the vacant WBO World Super-Flyweight title. Andrew, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. Just how have things been in this camp?
Yeah, thanks for having me on, mate. Camp has been, honestly, I know everyone says it, so it's probably cliche, but camp has gone absolutely perfect so far. We've got 4 weeks to go. I've known about this fight for a long time now. I know it only got sort of announced a few weeks ago, but we've known about this fight for quite some time and put in, a lot of hard work in Australia and had some really great sparring there. And then, headed over here to America to finish off the last 5 weeks of camp. And, everything's going perfect. We've got some great sparring over here staying with us that are flown in from Japan and the Philippines. And, they both got the perfect style and replicate Nakatani very well. So camp's going really good.
Yeah, no, definitely good to hear that. Obviously, we've got less than a month to go until fight night now. Just want to touch on Junto Nakatani, undefeated fighter, obviously kind of big puncher as well. Do you know much about him? Have you kind of come across him before?
Yeah, no, I know a lot about him. I'm a boxing fan and, obviously a complete professional. So I always keep an eye on everyone that's sort of in my division or around my division. And, Nakatani was making a lot of noise down at flyweight. So I obviously knew who he was and had seen him fight quite a few times. So then obviously heard about this fight and have since studied him more and more. And yeah, he's obviously a very good fighter. You're not an undefeated world champion if you're not a good fighter. But there's definitely weaknesses there that I think we can exploit. And we've put together a really good game plan. And as I said, had some really great sparring. And each day is just getting better and better. And becoming more and more confident that we've got the right plan, and I'm the right boxer to defeat Nakatani and give him his first loss and become world champion again, which is what I've been working very, very hard to do for a long, long time now. We're less than 4 weeks to go, so I'm getting very excited.
Yeah, fantastic. Obviously, I've done a little bit of research into Nakatani myself. You mentioned there he's obviously been at flyweight for most of his career. He's just had the one fight at super flyweight, I believe. And now obviously he's kind of fighting yourself for a world title. Just your thoughts on him just having the one fight at super flyweight before fighting for a world title and coming up against a fighter as good as yourself. Do you think that it might have been worthwhile for him to maybe have a couple more fights at and get used to the weight if possible?
Yeah, well, we'll see. He's obviously a very tall fighter, and used his height and reach and it was it was quite strong at flyweight, but whether he can carry that power and that strength at super flyweight is sort of yet to be seen. He's only had the one fight there against Francisco Rodriguez, who really still was sort of a flyweight himself. Had most of his success, was a world champion down at strawweight or minimum weight. So it wasn't a huge or a really strong super flyweight himself. So yeah, we're going to see if Nakatani has the strength and power at the super flyweight division, and that's certainly something that I plan on testing on fight night.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think just kind of on your weight yourself. I know you're probably not gonna tell me too much here, but you've been at super flyweight for a long time now. How how comfortable are you in making that weight on what will be May 19th, the day of the weigh-in, and are your plans for the long term to stay at that weight as well?
Yeah, no, honestly, I started my professional career at bantamweight and then moved down to super flyweight, but I make the weight very comfortably these days. I'm a complete professional. If I even in between fights, I don't blow up. I stay in the gym, stay strict with what I'm eating, and always keep my weight under control. And you know, as I've sort of fighting less often. I mean, early in your career when you're fighting 7 or 8 times a year, your weight's going up and down, and it can take a toll, and you're constantly dieting all year round like that. But now only fighting, 2, 3 times a year, I actually find it easier, and I'm always in the gym, so it's easier to keep my weight under control. And I make the weight very comfortably now. I feel strong at super flyweight. I feel like it's a perfect division for me, and yeah, I actually plan on staying here for the rest of my career, unless there's big opportunities at bantamweight, then we can look at that. But yeah, I make the weight pretty comfortably, and rather than go through the weights, I'd rather stay at super flyweight and start collecting more and more belts there. And obviously, the ultimate goal is to be undisputed champion at super flyweight.
Nice one. No, really, really, really exciting times, and yeah, really looking forward to May 20th. What's I'll be honest with you, Andrew. I like a flutter, like a bet every so often when it comes to boxing. Had a look at the odds for your fight. According to the bookies, you are the underdog for this fight. Not a massive underdog, but you are the underdog when it comes to the odds. Do you think that's fair? Is that what you would expect? Do you feel like the underdog here?
I don't feel like the underdog, but I did expect that the bookies would probably have me as an underdog, considering that Nakatani was, is an undefeated world champion who vacated his belt. So yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I haven't seen the odds myself. I don't know what they are, but yeah, I expected they'd probably have me as an underdog. But in my mind, I'm not. In my mind, we're both former world champions, and we're going to put it all on the line. And yeah, I don't think anyone's going to stop me on May 20 from becoming world champion. There's so much on the line here. I know that this fight and winning this fight changes mine and my family's future. And yeah, I'm not going to let anyone stop me from that happening, and leaving that ring as world champion just 1 week after my twin brother Jason becomes world champion on May 13. And it's been a lifelong dream for us both to be world champions at the same time, and to have the opportunity to do it just 1 week apart. It really feels like this was all meant to be, and this is our story. This is why we've dedicated almost 20 years of our life to this sport, is for this moment. And yeah, it's going to be very, very special for us both to be world champions, and to go home to Australia with those belts sitting on our lap, and go home and celebrate with all of our family and friends and everyone who supported us back home. It's going to be very, very special.
Yeah, 100%. That was something I really wanted to get into, Andrew. I think, as you mentioned, your brother exactly 1 week before, big fight for him, fights for a world title. From like a preparation standpoint, how do you think that's going to affect you? Obviously, if he were to lose a week before, what mindset does that put you in?
Well, preparation, I mean, firstly, he's like been able to do this camp together and both be fighting for world titles. There's a real big buzz here amongst our team, and obviously we're putting 100% into this camp. We've cut no shortcuts, and no expenses, to make sure that we have the best possible sparring, the best possible preparation, and everything is on tee. And yeah, look, I don't believe Jason's going to lose this fight for 1 second, but if that was to be the case, it wouldn't affect my preparation. If anything, it would just make me more hungry and more determined to go out there and do the job. We've done this many times, either fought on the same cards or a week or two apart. And, Jason did the same thing. I had my first loss of my professional career. Jason fought the week after that and put on probably the best performance of his career. So, yeah, there's nothing that's going to stop me from staying focused and getting the job done. But yeah, I don't believe for 1 second Jason's going to lose this fight. I'm very, very confident he's going to become world champion on May 13 and give me even more motivation to go and do that again the week later on May 20.
Definitely. You mentioned there kind of being on the same cards as your brother. Obviously, you're twins. You train together. You obviously spend a lot of time together. As you get to kind of the grander stages of your career, if you both become world champions next month, do you think that a card with both of you on is realistic in the next 12 months?
Yeah, I think so. We've done it many times now. Actually, I think it's 21 times we've fought on the same card as professionals, which is only found that out actually today. And yeah, pretty extraordinary. See, it's something we've had to deal with a lot over our careers, and there's positives and negatives to it. It can be difficult to stay focused when you're the second fighter on the night. But yeah, we've learned to deal with that. And there's no doubt that once we both get hold of these world titles, that we're going to demand that we can headline and both of us be on a huge card back home in Australia. So, yep, I think that's definitely going to be the plans before the end of the year, is to headline a huge show back in Australia with both of us defending our world titles.
Yeah, definitely. Just a couple more questions from me, Andrew. I can see you're really focused on the fight you've got May 20th. I know you're not looking past Nakatani. But I do have to ask, if you were to come through that, obviously another kind of another world champion in the division is Joshua Franco. Would you revisit that? And I can imagine you're kind of maybe sick of the sight of him. You come up against him 3 times, but if he has a world title and you have a world title, would a fourth fight appeal to you?
Yeah, it's funny because honestly, until the media day the other day, at the Top Rank gym, I hadn't even looked past this fight or thought past this fight for a second. And yeah, that question was brought to me, and yeah, obviously at the moment, 100% focus is on Nakatani, and I'm not looking past this fight for the reason that becoming WBO world champion on May 20 will make me the happiest man in the world. And, I'll just be that happy that I don't really even care about at the moment what is next. But yeah, obviously becoming world champion, then the next goal is to become a unified world champion. And yeah, 100% that Joshua Franco fight is still something that I want. It still burns me almost every day. I know that I can win that fight. I know I can beat Josh Franco. And yeah, if he's still got hold of that WBA world title, that's definitely something we'll look at doing. Very, very soon once we're both world champions.
Yeah, definitely. I don't want to touch on that too much. You've both got big fights coming up, but I think as a fan, I think there needs to be a fourth fight. Like kind of obviously 2 of those fights were very close fights. We know what happened in the second fight. I feel a lot of people thought it was very unfair what happened. So fingers crossed, whilst you're still at that weight division, if you both have world titles, then that's the perfect time for that fourth fight to happen. Cool. Andrew, just obviously you are on the undercard of a massive fight there. Devin Haney Lomachenko. Do have to get your opinion. What do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's an amazing fight. Like, as a fight fan, just to be on this card is just, such a blessing. And, then to be there live in the crowd after my fight, to be able to watch it live is going to be really special. Yeah, I think it's a great fight, and I've changed my mind so many times now about who's going to win, and I honestly think that it's pretty much a 50-50 fight. But something tells me at the moment that just because of the activity that Devin's had back-to-back big fights now for quite some time, and Lomachenko's been a little bit inactive because of what's happened in Ukraine, and getting obviously a little bit older now. He's had a lot of fights, obviously over 300, nearly 400 amateur fights on top of his pro career. I think that probably plays into Devin's hands, and Devin is a very big lightweight, and we all know that Lomachenko is not really a lightweight. He's got a very small frame, and I think Devin might be able to just keep him out long, and a very, very slick boxer, very good behind his jab. I think he may be able to just to control the distance and win a 12-round points decision. But yeah, and then going to be a very, very exciting fight. I can see it going both ways, but that's the way I see it playing out. But yeah, looking forward to May 20 to see how it unfolds.
Yeah, absolutely. Andrew, thank you so much for your time. Really looking forward to your fight on May 20th, as well as obviously the big the fight between Haney and Lomachenko as well. But yeah, looking forward to staying up to hopefully see you win that world title. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and all the best for next month.
Thanks very much, mate. Can't wait for it.
All the best.